Welcome to Learning SQL on Azure. My name is Rafael. Before we introduce the concept of SQL Server on Azure platform, let us begin with the on-premises environment and have a clear understanding of what that means as opposed to the cloud technology. When we speak of on-premises environment, we are talking about the physical server room in your company that has physical servers, the racks, the routers, the cables, the monitors, all that hardware that is associated in that server room is referred to as on-premises environment. Now, all this hardware will require, of course, as you know, the IT department to designate and assign staff to manage and configure all these servers. Now, even if you have a virtual environment, the IT staff still needs to manage VMs because the VMs are on this physical hardware. So that's what a definition of an on-premises is. It's basically the server room on your premises. Now, over time, as requirements for a company grows, the demand for the IT director increasingly grows in determining and deciding how to manage the budget costs. And what I mean by that is it feasible to continue having server room with all their hardware and all the associated staff and maintenance for that server room? So with the increasing demand and the strain of this business now, the need to expand the IT infrastructure becomes a decision-making time. So let's look at the PowerPoint demonstration of what I mean by that. Now here, as you can see, now of course I've made up these numbers. So suppose you're starting a small company, and then the platform I'm going to introduce, suppose you're starting a small company. Now if you're starting a small company, you'll need, of course, computers and servers on premises. Now let's assume, and this is just random numbers are made, they're obviously a lot higher, but let's say you have a server room and you have a cost $45,000. Now this $45,000, again random, may be consisting of a single server, and with that server now you have to buy the OS, you have to buy the SQL Server license, and you have to buy the clients that are associated with it. So in the year one, this is your cost. Now as you can see, over the course of years, and in this demonstration, year 3, notice that the on-premises server room has duplicated or increased its physical hardware and clients. So now the cost has gone up to $155,000, and so is the maintenance of taking care of these. Now over the course of 5 years, the cost is going up dramatically. It's now $280,000 for that particular year, and of course we've got more hardware and more clients. So when starting a company, the IT department needs hardware infrastructure such as the Windows Server, the Windows operating system, the SQL Server, and over the course of time, the hardware and the staff and the maintenance and the cost of each progresses with time. So in time now, the on-premises infrastructure may become too costly to manage within the budget. So what can be done with this increasing profitable company? Enter Azure. So this is just a quick demonstration of what the on-premises is. It's basically you're managing every single thing associated with your hardware and software. And as we'll see in the next demonstration or the coming demonstration, where Azure plays a significant part in relinquishing you the control of the hardware. Now you'll see in the future courses or future videos where we can relinquish part of the responsibility and control that we have right up to the entire responsibility on Azure. And that is the decision making. So you and the DBA and the IT directors and other staff members will have to determine that over the course of time, as you progress with spending more money on your server room or your on-premises, is it feasible and is it cost beneficial to move to Azure platform? So let me minimize this. So should we spend more money on staff, training, hardware for the more servers, small business license, software business licenses, managing patches and updates, and much, much more? This is every single thing you're beginning doing on your on-premises infrastructure. So this is where the IT director comes in contact with the DBA and the communication begins. It's all about decision making. So this is where the DBA's input providing alternative solutions comes. Economically feasible options come in play. Now the whole process is about, as I said, decision making. This is very important. Should we opt to migrate to the Azure platform. That's a decision you and your staff will have to make. Is it feasible? Should we completely relinquish control to Azure? That's going to be important. As I said, you have multiple options, as I will demonstrate, of relinquishing all your control of your environment or part. Or should we have a hybrid environment? What is the cost? Is it a complex environment transition? And many, many more questions emerge. And this is what you will be doing at this point. So having that behind us now, let us start the course by emulating what's called the on-premises environment by downloading and installing SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition, which is the current edition, on your desktop, which will emulate a server, and begin the process of understanding the decisions you'll need to make to migrate to Azure or not. And this is the important part. So in the next couple of videos now, what I'm going to do is basically emulate a on-premises environment. The on-premises environment will consist of your desktop, which will emulate a Windows server, and then on that we'll install the SQL Server, and then we'll restore the database. So that will be our encompassing environment, our on-premises. And we'll do a few things on premises just for a demonstration and illustration. And then, of course, the decision becomes, now that we have this environment and with growth, should we migrate to Azure? Yes or no? It's simple as that, but obviously the decisions leading to that yes or no can be cumbersome and long, and that's what I'm going to do. So in the next video, as I said, I'm going to download and install SQL Server 2019, and then I'm going to restore the SQL database AdventureWorks 2019. And then from there, I'll move on into giving you examples of what the Azure platforms look like, the Azure cloud models, and determine how and when to move to those environments. So I'm going to leave it here, and we'll continue with the next video. So my name is Raphael, and this is Learning SQL on Azure. See you in the next video.